this session is dedicated from our perspective, how we received microgrants this year and how was the responses that we get and how we think that you should change to your goals and your metrics in your proposals, so proposals can be like a lot better in the upcoming years, but not just dedicated to the microgrants, but also to other grant possibilities that exist. So my name is Tony, and here is my colleague Barbara.
Yeah, welcome everyone. I want to add that, as Tony said, the presentation is based on our experience with rapid grants and micro grants. It also applies to other projects. Um, it also applies to other projects, of course, because these are some basic of projects. But we want to show you and walk you through some of the examples that we have encountered and basically and help you prepare better projects. Yeah. So every grant application that you are preparing, the structure is, no matter who the founder is it like foundation, European Union, some other external grants project, the structure of the project is always follows like the same rules. So it starts with project goals, objectives, project activities, and that includes activities that are happening before as preparation, then during the project, and also after, connected to sustainability. It's also about your team, because you have to explain who will be doing what and how this will be done. So it's about people, it's about metrics, of course, and in the end, budget. Okay, so let's start immediately with some examples to make it more interesting. We kind of reworked, but also copy pasted some of the goals and objectives that we received as explanation in some of the projects that were sent to us as a hub. And I don't know if you see well on the screen. I will read it out. Maybe the first one, and I'm asking you for just like some attention, because I would like your feedback if you understand this, what I am about to read. So this is referring to goals and objectives. So the project is designed to revisit public places from the perspective of gender and empower artists in exile. And this is both, it refers to both goal and objectives. So if someone is brave or willing to speak, I would like to hear from you if you understand this, and or comment. Yeah, perfect.
Matej here. I think my biggest thing here is what does it mean to revisit, and what is the public place you are revisiting?
Yes, to me it sounds like a combination of like buzzwords that would make the proposal more likely to get funded without explaining what it actually does.
Being bold here, if I would like to finance my personal trip, that could be the words that I would use.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for those who were brave. I hope you can hear me in spite of the rain. So yeah, these were some of the questions that both of us had when we received this grant proposal. It's very vague. Like, and also with having the best possible intentions, we always go from perspective that the person who is applying has all the topic and the context in their head. So for them, it can seem like very reasonable and really clear, even in this one sentence that you are explaining it. But when you are sending your project for external evaluation, be it really simple or small, like micro grants of CEE Hub, or something bigger like USA, the EU project, you have to put yourself in the shoes of the evaluator. And that person, although it has project related and topic related experience doesn't know your context. It's not like having your experience. So when framing your goal and objective, you really have to strive towards being as clear as possible. So goal, what is goal? It's a statement that explains the expected outcome of the project. So it's like this is something big. And it also consists of objectives. And objectives are, if you see them in a project way, they're parts of this goal. And then objectives are specific measurable actions items that support this goal. Okay, these are like a lot of words. I will explain on examples to have it to make it more clear to you. But the most important thing about this goal, which is supported by objectives, is they have to be smart. This is like invented word to make it clear and easy to remember for everyone. But smart means that they have to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. And Tony and I also added these two other sentences based on our experience. It would be good to explain it in simple words, and it has to be on operational level because you're implementing it, not really philosophical. Okay, so let's practice a bit. So again, your attention. So let's imagine that the project goal, our project goal, or project that we are now trying to write, is reviving Wikimedian community. So it's like a big goal. So what would be the objectives? Can you just try to imagine some of the objectives? Like it's the list is indefinite. So, but just having in mind that it has to be something that you can measure, that it's clear, that is time bound. What could be like some of the objectives? Who dares? Same people, new people.
Sorry. I think I would start with membership. So increasing membership or having events, more events where members or more members come.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
So Mate said that he would like then that the objective would be increase the number of events. You can also comment on each other or add new things.
Another objective that I would set is to provide structures on long term to build capacity onto the members in order to increase the consolidation of the group, to begin a process that will consolidate the group and will allow building experience to the members of the community that we want to build.
Okay, but try to be more specific. When you say construct, you're focusing on structures. You have to like think a bit deeper. So what would this structure be like? Just a bit more defining.
Capacity building, to build capacity
Okay.
on the members to be able in the future to organize and run their own events.
Okay. Thank you, Nikos. Okay. I here outline some of the possible objectives, and the list is, as I said, indefinite. So as I mentioned, you have to think about those that smart rule. So one example, growing number of active contributors by some percentage within certain amount of months. So you're trying to define it as much as possible. You're trying to say like, okay, I'm trying to work on this, and this is the time that I will use. Also increase contributor retention rate by, again, some percentage. And again, you are defining how many months you want to spend on this. It can be something close to what Mate said, organizing some events, collaborative events, whatever, competitions within, again, some time-bound process. Yeah, it's about you trying now to define that goal on a bit lower level and defining it more precisely. Then the person who is reading it, evaluator, understands, okay, this group has something serious in mind. There is some time which is explained here. It's like very concrete goal that they are trying to achieve. We are not talking about, okay, some buzzwords that then artificial intelligence even constructs for you, because you can even write projects like that nowadays. But it should be like really precise. That person who is like reading can connect with you and see, okay, this intention here is real. Okay, moving from goals and objectives, we go to activities.
Yeah. So about project activities, that is a major part of the every grant application and grant proposal that we received. It's also we will listed some of the examples that we got in our proposal so far. So I will one of that is like very vague. So I want to take photos of hidden places, then improve and create the articles about. Find uncategorized files of something and add specific categories. So we don't know how much is the time, how much is well, where they will go, how is the they will go, if they had the experience with that. So they do not explain fully the chronological order how they gonna do that. So in a very you want to explain your project activities, you need to explain like in details, but not like also to be like very long, but to give good sense to the evaluation committee or that evaluator, that he or she can understand quite well in the first sentences of your project activities what it is going to happen in the project. And we with also with these examples, we want to give you attention and awareness that when you're creating vague or like long or not full details of the applications, then it has like goal and with the work of the your grant applications, it is takes much longer time because it needs explanation from your side, and it makes the work like quite harder, not just for you but also for the evaluators. And it in some instances, it then the rapid proposal or that like micro grant is not so fast and so like it should be. So basically, I already mentioned some of the good things that every project activity should contain, and that is to give information how you can implement the project itself. So like to be like clear, I want to change something, or like I want to promote something, that to be like very clear, to explain why you need to do that. So why what was the problem that you want to fix it in the first place. To hear that background story that we don't know as evaluators. As I mentioned already, to include details of these activities that will happen online or offline, so to give us like perspective to know what is gonna happen during these activities, to immediately know, okay, they will have an event, it will happen in October, it will take 2 days, they will organize a session in the first half of the day, then they will proceed with some editathons. So it is immediately clear that they want to have they even had like agenda in their mind how they will spend that day. And very important at the end is that always provide external links, so or internal links on wiki, that we can check it with further details. So you do not want to spend to write I don't know 2 pages of your project activities if you already had that like enough like some pages dedicated to that project that you want just to revolve or to again like to revive to continue just. So if you had that project already on a wiki or off wiki, but just some external page, you can just provide that link, and the evaluator can read quite more about that you want to proceed. And about team, this is very interesting. And almost in every applications, we received just names. Okay, we know you, we understand who are you, but still, it is not just you. On example, if Mate is applicant, and like here it's and he mentioned just Mate like a name. We know Mate, but we don't know the team behind Mate. Like, okay, with Mate will be cooperating with somebody else, and I don't know, like he's his friend or his coworker or something else. So we need to know like what is the role that other person will be that will be included in the application. What is their role? What they will bring to this project. So to give to give more details about these people, why they were selected in the first place. So basically, it is not like okay, I he's my good friend and that's it. That's not good enough in the grant proposals. Probably you should mention that like he's a good photographer or he knows how to organize events. He is good with financials. He knows how to organize events in the first place. So basically, it's like a call to everyone to avoid using just names. Although it is the even when the call and the proposals, it's very like closed, and the people when you are applying, they know you. You need to explain quite a lot about that. And as I mentioned, is to also like previously, please include external links, links that we can follow up for these persons, how it is their work. We can see at least on Wiki. It's very easy to find that like a history page of editing or their uploads and comments, but even as a Wikimedians, we can follow up the work of them, like when they organize some events in the past. We come to the metrics, and this is definitely the thing that for many of you is maybe the hardest part of every grant proposals. And basically we received quite a lot applications when the applicants struggle to measure their activities properly, and especially that is with our microgrant program. And I will mention here like even like uh, our target number for participants is 10 with 2 organizers. We don't know almost nothing or what is behind these sentences. Okay, 10, but what is 10? Just if they will edit something, if they will upload images, if they will be just participants, if it will be just a guest. So it is very unclear. And for the metrics, you should include like some divide. So it's good to have like to be like to be like clear, short, and measurable. But that to be like, an example, we want to engage with 30 people, okay, and then you can split the number. It's 5 organizers, 15 editors, and then people who will continue the activities on Commons on or Wikidata or whatever else. So second point is that you need to adjust your metrics according to your project. It is not always connected with Wikipedia or like editors or editing. It should be your measurement can be quite different when you're engaging with Wikimedia activities and not connected initially with Wikipedia and creating articles or uploading photos. And the very last, the measurement or the metrics shouldn't be like just a number that you just come up from your head, but you need to think about in front, like before you apply, and it should be ambitious, but in the first place, but also like to be realistic. So, an example, if you're organizing for the first time editathon and you just want and you live in small country, you will not say that you will engage with 100 people. It is unrealistic that you will have 100 people on your first event. You can easily start with 40, 50 maybe, but even that is ambitious. But still, with good promotion or something that you already know, or you are had cooperation with some university, it can be realistic.
Yeah, now our favorite part, budget, money. So here are some examples. I will again read it out if it's not really clear. So it's project manager compensation, 500. Catering, 1 unit, 700. Travel by bus for 3 people, 200. Printing promotion material, 1 unit, 70. Promotion social networks, 150. Okay, I can again ask you to explain, but the bottom line is that it's not clear. From this explanation, we don't understand what the unit is, what the travel is, where are you going, where back you are traveling. Even with the explanation of the staff member, it's not clear what amount of hours, what kind of arrangement. So I created, okay, so let's go how the budget should look. It should reflect your activity. So everything what was explained in the project, like literally, activity by activity, has to now transfer, like related to finances, into your budget. Even some things, for example, that you have gotten as pro bono, so someone is willing to give you room for free, include it in the project, because then it's clear for us that you're counting on this venue, and mark it as a zero in the budget. Just mark how you're getting it as explanation pro bono from someone because you have partner NGO who is willing to give it to you. Budget should be realistic. It should take into account your local context. People who are checking, evaluating are able to check local context, so keep that in mind. And it's always for smaller projects like these micro grants, maybe it's not that relevant, but even if you go to a bit bigger, rapid ones, or even larger, it's not just, you can't just invent sums from your head or by heart. It's good to ask or get 2 or 3 quotes to have like some kind of comparison, so you know, or not, like you don't have to ask quotes. You can go to Booking or some other website, you compare prices of hotel rooms or tickets, so you know realistically what kind of amount you're talking about. Anyhow, it should be clear like which amount and which unit is financed. And I created this example, so I will briefly walk you through. It has just imaginary 3 categories. I'm starting with staff. So it's about, if you're including project management, project manager, and it's a staff member, well, then in explanation, you ideally, in all grants, especially bigger ones, repeating, and not to even say annual ones, you have to define this person is working full-time, part-time, how many hours a week, how many hours approximately per month that equals. Unit is a month because person is employee. Number of units, I don't know how much you need for this project. Maybe person is not working full-time. So you work it from there to get like the complete estimate of the cost. If you're going for B option, like project manager is a freelancer, then maybe you're defining this in days or hours, but then again, you explain to us what the unit is, you explain how many units you need, and then we can clearly understand how you got to that final budget amount, that cost. Okay, also example of the facilitator. You need this person not full-time, obviously, it's only for a few hours. Then the unit is hour, you explain how much it costs per hour, and you get to final amount. Other budget categories, and these can be like many more. I just pointed out some which are the most used in the grants that we got. Travel and events. International travel, budget line. You need to explain, is it like bus ticket, flight, traveling by car, how many kilometers? It needs to anyhow be explained, and then defined what kind of unit it is and for how many people, so we can also understand. Accommodation applies the same. We need to understand if the project, if you're explaining that you're implementing activity which lasts 2 days, well, then it's logical that you will need at least 2, but ideally 3 nights per person, because if they're traveling outside of their initial location. And we need to understand how you came to that number. So in explanation, just provide these numbers. Are you talking about single rooms, double rooms? How many people, how many days? Same goes for food. Also, for example, interpretation costs during the meeting. With equipment and materials, it's a bit easier, but also it needs some explanation. For example, if you're purchasing equipment, laptop, something bigger, smaller, you explain for whom that is. Will it be used during the whole time of the project? Are you talking about renting, buying? You're explaining the number of units. And about swag, if you tell to us like 1 unit, that doesn't mean anything. Swag can be anything from badge to bag, t-shirts. You need to explain, like, again, numbers and what kind of material you're talking about. When building project like this, it's easier for you to understand how much money you need. It's also easier for the person who is evaluating to know what you are doing. But also something that can help, that you can prevent, is that the person who is evaluating can see some gaps. For example, I'm looking at this, and by reading your project, I see that you are talking about 3-day event and you are planning only 3 nights. Maybe I come back to you and I ask, like, maybe you need 1 night more because people are traveling. So it can also avoid some mistakes that can happen, because someone else can ask you constructive questions and get feedback. And this basically really also shows that you are serious about this project. You really thought through what you are doing and how this looks in real life. Yeah, that's about budget, and that's about our presentation. And we wanted to leave some time for questions and answers. But before that, we understand that this format, like 45 minutes, it's only for some introduction. I want to say that CEE Hub, one of our main administrative core activities, is providing support to construct projects, write grant applications. So if you have interest to dig deeper, to think about, brainstorm about your idea, or if you want to start constructing project, you can contact us definitely afterwards, and we can start doing this together from scratch or from some idea that you have. This basically refers just to some basic questions for now. So everyone who wants to work, contact us.
Nobody else? Yeah. Well, my question is, what do you think about adding some kind of cushioning into the budget, right? Either if you have a, like, let's say a flight, right, and you have some kind of estimate, but they change, right? That's one thing. And then sometimes it's said that it's good practice to include 20% or 10% or some kind of percentage at the end as kind of like extra unforeseen, something like that. What is your thinking here?
Yeah, definitely a good question. What we've seen now on the majority of the projects that we received is that people take into account, they either build this a bit high, they count prices a bit higher, but I would not recommend this. I would recommend that you just calculate, for example, 10%. Okay, depends on the size of the project, but you calculate some kind of buffer zone, like contingency. And then you have additional amount of money, which is then available if prices change or something extraordinary happens, inflation, whatever. So definitely good to think about this, not to like worry about every single thing that you're then doing. In the end, like final line, you just write contingency, let's say 8-10%. You explain how much, ideally in percentages, and then that percentage of the grant. But it's good. What we were doing for the hub, for example, was 10 or 8%, but it's bigger project. Then on the smaller ones, you can just see maybe it needs a bit more, maybe 10, 15, even on the smaller projects like 500. Definitely good to do.
Hi again. I understand that CEE Hub have open like a region area, offering, but still Central Asia we are also here. I was curious about is there any plans like, or maybe are you planning to include Central Asian region also for the CEE Hub microgrant, for example?
Yeah, microgrants this year was open just for the C communities, and it's basically a steering committee decision, and that is the body above us as the staff members, and they will. It's because we will have like at the end of this year like a report of this like how it all went with the microgrants. So maybe it will be changed for the next year, but it is up onto them.
So yeah, the topic is definitely on, and the new steering committee that we will have will be deciding about next year.
Yeah, thank you. And the next question is about budget. And is there any like specific maybe Excel form to create it, or only it's open? Like,
Currently, for microgrants, I had like a basic, simple form that it can be used because it's only 500 euros, so it's up to 500 euros. It can be only starting from 50. So it's very simple. It is not like Barbara shown with the compensation and traveling and like that. But yes, it exists in the application form.
It's in the Google. It's a Google Forms.
Yeah, the Google form.
Well, from Slovenia, we did get a small micro grant this year for 500 euros, but when we get to museum, they didn't want to charge us, and three less people on the lunch, so we were about 130 euros leftovers. So I returned this money, no problem. But is there a way to spend it for something else, or it is necessary to return it? Really?
Yeah, currently, due to the Wikimedia Polska, and that is our fiscal sponsor, they ask like unspent money to be returned, and that is like basically technical problem. But yes, I know, uh, and we spoke about that. You will need to create another like another proposal and then another application to be approved. I know that is bureaucratical and administration and bank fees and everything, but nowadays it's like this. Okay, yeah. Thanks. And we are here, like our contact is on Meta, and you can schedule a separate meeting if you want. We're uh, almost almost yeah. Yeah. Thanks for the participating.